Good evening, Professor Stewart, and good evening, my audience. Thank you guys for being here. If you guys could take a second and say hello to my professor. This is Professor Stewart, and this is my audience, Professor Stewart.
Hello.
Thank you all for being here. So today, I'm going to be talking to you guys about an informative speech that I get to present, which is titled, How to Write a Resume. Disclaimer, audience participation is more than welcome. So with that being said, I have a question for you guys. Who wants a good paying job? Okay, by raise of hands again, who would agree that requires a well-written resume? Great, okay. So with that being said, I did some research. I love motivational speakers and researching their quotes and things of that nature. So I researched a man by the name of Arthur Ashe, who's a civil rights activist, and he said, one important key to success is self-confidence. An important key to self-confidence is preparation. We're gonna magnify that word preparation because that's a word we'll use throughout the entire speech. So with that being said, people often correlate the word success with how great of a job they have. But in order to gain success in your career path, you must not neglect preparation. So the goal of my speech today is to inform and make you guys aware of the importance of a well-written resume. And it only takes a few simple steps. These 3 steps that we'll talk about today include analyzing yourself and the job description. Secondly, construct a clean, clear, and precise document. And the last thing is have your resume critiqued by at least 2 or 3 people. So we're gonna briefly talk about each of those. So first, analyze yourself and the job description. Theodore Roosevelt, which is the 26th president of the United States, once said, whenever you are asked if you can do a job, tell them, certainly I can. Then get busy and find out how to do it. In reality, when you get a new job, you don't know everything fresh out of the gate. You have to kind of get to know things and basically roll your sleeves up and get your hands dirty, which is basically what he's saying. The first thing a resume should have is, you should begin with knowing what you have to offer. What are your qualifications? What are your skills? And secondly is, know what your employer is looking for. You want to know what you bring to the table and know what your employer is looking for and articulate those skills and put those on paper. Secondly is construct a clean, clear, and precise document. Resumes are an employer's first impression of you. At times, we think that our appearance is going to do the part. The first thing they see is your resume. That is going to communicate first. Secondly, recruiters do not spend a ton of time reviewing your resume. So we spend all this time doing paragraph on paragraph, and research showed by the name of Alan Farnham of ABC News published an eye-tracking software study. This is what he says. Your resume gets a 6 seconds worth of scrutiny, which basically means you get your resume analyzed in 6 seconds. They look it over, critique it in 6 seconds, that's it. So you want to avoid things such as paragraphs and long wording. Bullet points are key. You want to magnify your strengths. Next, the third one we're going to talk about is have your resume critiqued by 3 people. It's very hard to put yourself on display, of course, and to be corrected, but this provides an extra pair of fresh eyes to remove things like typos, grammatical errors, things of that nature, and to also just have a different perspective of creativity. They'll see things that we don't see at times. So, with those things in mind, briefing over the 3 that we just discussed, analyze yourself in the job description, construct a clean and clear and precise document, have your resume critiqued by at least 2 to 3 people. And again, like we talked about in the beginning, people often correlate the word success with how great of a job they have. But in order to gain success in your career path, you must not neglect preparation. So, again, everyone wants to succeed in life, but we want it instantly. We want it instant gratification, and things don't work that way. Everything requires planning, including a well-written resume. Resumes is a part of planning and preparing that could potentially pay off in the long run. And we all know this quote, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. So thank you guys for being a part of my speech, and I hope we gathered some information on how to write a well-written resume. Thank you, Professor Stewart, and have a great evening, guys.